Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am very excited to be kicking off December with this amazing project, which is now out today, the Legacy Hub, and I have the creators here to talk about their amazing project. So thank you, the Awful Gaymer and Pacific Creative, to be here today.
Thanks for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us.
Oh my God, the pleasure is all mine. Before we get into talk about Legacy Hub, why don't we give a little deep dive about yourselves? Alex, you go first.
Yeah, so I'm the Awful Gamer, or Alex, or Gamer, or Awful. It really doesn't matter to me. I've been playing The Sims for far too long. I won't age myself, at least on this podcast. But I love all things Sims, and you can find me anywhere at the Awful Gamer.
I like that. Pacific Creative, welcome back. Second time.
Hi. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Hopefully my mic is better this time. Last time it was cutting in and out. It was really annoying. I'm Pacific Creative, Pacific for short, and I host a cozy corner of the internet where we mostly play The Sims. I've been playing The Sims since the first version. I've played every version of the game, and I started streaming the fourth one because I started creating things. Finally, I finally hit a point where I was like, I really want to start creating for this community that has meant so much to me for more than half my life. And so I started streaming, and then now we have this fun project, and I've made a lot of friends in the Sims community, and I love it here. So.
I love that. Now I have to be diligent and tell you your mic is cutting in and out.
Dang it. Okay.
As a host, I have to tell you. But I thought your audio was fine last time, to be honest
We
with
can
you.
hear you perfectly. It's just like the differing levels.
Yeah. I know. At the vein of the existence. Well, welcome back. How's the Clutter Wars going?
Okay. Clutter Wars is good.
Okay.
We're just about to, let's see, by the time this airs, we will have just finished judging round 3.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been a really fun experience to see what everybody's doing now that the story is more cohesive.
Okay. I appreciate that. Okay, Alex, you get to talk it off while Pacific fixes her mic.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So talk to me. How did this idea originate? Because I know this was based on another program that no longer exists anymore. So talk to me how you went from, I can't remember the name, like Plum Bob Tree. Please don't come at me in the comments for misnaming that. To where we are today with Legacy Hub.
I got you. Plum Tree app. I got
Plum
you.
Tree app. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
So this ultimately kind of came about because, and Pacific can correct me for anything I say wrong, but essentially I had seen a bunch of other people use the Plumtree app before. And when I started getting into gameplay and streaming on Twitch, I was like, I'm going to start using this app because then people can see the craziness of me trying the 100 baby and not so berry all at once. And I got like 3 gens in, and then Twitter kind of just like blew up with a bunch of people being like, oh my God, they're shutting down the Plumtree app. Like, this is going away. And I was like, excuse me, I just put in a lot of work here. What do you mean it's going away? And they essentially posted like they're going to spend time focusing on family, that there were financial issues, that just like to keep it running, because there were so many people using it that they just decided to ultimately close down. And I was like, hey, I know a website designer, and this is like a huge thing that I've seen a bunch of people kind of miss or be worried about because there was no good alternative as far as that I saw for the Plumtree app when it shut down. I was like, I know a website designer named Pacific Creative. What if I just like message them? And I'm like, so I've got a crazy idea. How do you feel about it?
I mean, full disclosure, my family went on vacation earlier this year, and I actually got to meet Alex in person. So us chatting isn't a totally like out of the blue thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he reached out and he was like, hey, I know you make websites. There's this app. Do you know of it? And I haven't really done gameplay in a hot minute the last year or so. I've really been focused on building and becoming a better builder. So I really had no idea it existed. And so I was like, when he started explaining what the project was, I was like, that's not really a website. That's like an app that you're talking about. But guess what? That's what husband does. So Dev Pacific on Twitch, he's really not on any other social medias, and he's rarely on Twitch. So don't go searching for Dev Pacific anywhere because it won't be him. But he is my husband, my in real life husband, and he is a software developer. He actually has his bachelor's in software development, and so when we approached him about it, he was like, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to use this, but I've been needing to make something for my portfolio. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. I don't have a problem. And so we decided to have, that was like a Thursday. And we decided to have another meeting on Monday about whether or not we really wanted to move forward with this, because Alex was going to reach out to Plumtree and see what they were planning to do with their software, see if they were selling it, what was going on. By Monday, husband already had a prototype for us to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
quick.
Trust me, I was like, oh, and it was no shade to Plumtree. They filled a need that was needing to be filled. It was already better. Like, it was a lot more intuitive to use. It didn't have all the features and everything that we have now and we have planned in the future. But it was already like, this makes sense in how it's set up. So yeah, so we already but at that point we just kind of hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. So.
I think we had like go for it.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we had a shared Google Doc and a Discord of sharing photos of like me writing out like, here are the life stages, here are all the different connections that we want, and y'all just like took it and run. And I remember when we had our initial conversation, we were like, even if like 20 people see this, like it will be worth it. It'll be worth it because it's something and filling the void, and it's definitely become a lot bigger than that, I will say, since then. But to like, one of the things when we were talking about recreating or like coming up with something brand new, because this is brand new than the Plumtree app was I wanted to make sure that we stressed and did everything that we couldn't do with the Plumtree app, like have both sides of the family tree have an entire tree and all of the random like connections and stuff like that. So that's why it's so different, but hopefully fills the same void.
Yeah. And the design of it in general is also different because we use a web design rather than the traditional tree.
Okay. I do have to ask, did you reach out to Plum Bob Tree throughout this process to see if you could take any of their original ideas, if he could even be in the process of it getting done? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I did. I reached out. I sent them an email because they had their email on there. And I was just like, hey, I know so many people love this, use this. Like, I've used it before. A bunch of my friends on like Twitter and through the entire sim space use it. What are you planning to do with it? Because this is before we actually knew the end date of Plumtree app. It was just randomly, it was announced like it was going away. There was no set end date. I was like, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to sell it? Is it like for other people, like that sort of thing? And they reached back out, and they are shutting down because of financial and family reasons. At least that's what they put on their website. But essentially, we're like, I don't feel comfortable selling all of the data of all of the users to anyone. So when I decide to shut down, which I do have a shutdown date today, which is why we picked December 1st as our go live date. They said that if anything, they're probably going to make the source code open source, so that way anyone can use it and recreate it if they want to spin up their own servers and that sort of thing. But hearing that they weren't planning on selling and that there was no viable option, that's kind of why we like jumped to like, let's build our own, let's build something different and unique.
Yeah, let's fix the things that we're frustrated with. And but the other side of the coin is Plumtree was live for 7 years and nobody came forward with any kind of alternative, any sort of competition. The only other things that were being used out there besides Plumtree were actual family tree generators.
Okay.
They were using for their, for actual family trees. So it was missing things like the occult. It was missing things like, oh, this is my rodent. Oh, it was, this person was abducted. Because that's not the kind of thing that you would find from ancestry.com.
It's
you would hope
not
not to find.
Shocking, right?
You can't put horses in ancestry. What? Get the fuck out of here.
I know.
I'm sure you could find a way, just maybe not by labeling them a horse. That's actually called a mother-in-law.
Oh,
hey, now full disclosure,
kidding.
I like my mother-in-law.
I like my
kidding.
mother-in-law too.
Full disclosure.
I don't have one, but I'm sure that they're lovely whenever I do.
I love that. What else were you able to create in Legacy Hub that was not in Plumbob Tree?
I would say a lot of the main thing is being able to have any sim have any relationship. That was like the huge thing that I wanted to stress, because a lot of times, so like for my gameplay, I had a sim who married a sim and then remarried to a different sim, but the first two sims were originally married, and there was no way to like track that or show that. Versus like now I can make a spider web of like my sim, this sim, this sim. Here's all the love triangle chaos that I caused in my gameplay. We also have like pets. That was something that just most can't show. So I think we had someone today, Rosanna, who's one of our beta testers, along with Stassi. If you did not know this, Stassi is one of our beta testers. Said like, oh, I could make an entire family tree just based off of horses.
Yes.
Like I could do a whole tree that is all of my horses, and you absolutely could with this one. But like Pacific was saying, it's like abductions and cloning and having robots because servo exists in the game. Like it's trying to have everything that is specific to the Sims, because we are simmers who built this for simmers.
I like that. Pacific, sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I just said that's exactly it.
I think that's like the best elevator pitch ever. As a beta tester, I'm very curious to see what was the feedback that you got throughout the process, and how long did from this is an idea on a Thursday to we're now at December 1st, like how long was this project in the motion in the background?
We started talking about it in the middle of September.
Okay.
That was when we first started talking about it. And then in October, I think is really when we hit accelerate, because that was when they revealed that they were going to be closing on December 1st.
Okay.
So we really sort of were like, oh, okay, well, if we're going to do this, we need to do this, and we need to do this now. Like it can't just be sort of willy-nilly whenever. Because, this is a need that the Sims community has. So
I like that.
I
was like, Alex, what are you looking at? Like you were like deadpan zoning.
Do you want the date, Alex? I could tell you what day it was.
I was trying to find when we brought in beta testers, because isn't it September 13th is our first conversation about it?
I think it was when our first conversation, was September 13th, was when you were like, hey, I know you're a website designer.
What if?
Right. So that was that. I don't feel like we really brought the beta testers in until mid-October. Like, because we were like, we definitely, we're looking at this from our perspective, but everybody plays the game so differently. Like that's one of the things that I love about the Sim community is, whether you're watching on Twitch or watching on YouTube or, seeing stuff on Instagram, everybody uses the game differently. Everybody has different mods. Everybody has different CC. Everybody's telling a different story. And they're using their, and like when I was playing, I was very much just a casual player. I just let my generations go and go and go. And I was like, I think this kid's going to do this. I didn't even know legacy challenges existed until like 2 years ago. So, but I was very much like a lone wolf player thinking, hey, I'm this random lady in her mid-30s who still plays The Sims. Everybody looks at me like I'm crazy when I say I play The Sims. I hear a lot of, oh yeah, I used to play that as a kid. So, I didn't really talk about it. So then when the pandemic happened and I started really discovering that there was this huge community online, that's when I really started to uncover like, oh, people play this game differently. Oh, there's different options like legacy challenges. So yeah, I think it was one of those like we definitely need to bring some people in. And we had, I mean, Alex has the connections. There's a reason he's the one reaching out to everybody. But you know, we had some mutuals like Oodles of Noodle, who she has her story on Simstagram. So she has lots of legacies. We both know Planet Kenya, who does her occult legacy challenge. So we knew those, and then he was like, "Oh, and I know this person." I was like, "Yeah, go just pick some people. Let's go." So here we are now. We ended with 9 beta testers, I think. One of them was somebody that won a spot. And then we did bring in a couple other people for media purposes, people who were like, I really want to make videos about this. Oh, okay, well, let's bring you in. So you could do that once we release the NDA. So, but the feedback we got was the majority of it was very positive, I would say. We definitely had a few things like, hey, you know, and it came from people who, again, play the game differently than we do. It was when I do this, it's not doing this correctly. Oh, okay. Or it would be great if, you know, like we had the pronoun drop down, but it was like, hey, it'd be great if this could be more customizable. Okay, sure. You know, so I think that the feedback from the beta testers became incredibly invaluable.
Yes.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it.
No, you go ahead.
I would say a lot of the feedback was very positive, especially now that the NDA is released and like the community is really seeing it, other than just our announcement. Most of it has been stuff that we've incorporated or cleaned up, or are things that it's like, hey, I really love this, but I would love if you could, you know, combine child lines or that sort of thing. So the nice thing about, or nice to me, hopefully everyone else agrees that it's nice, is that we're going to have a working product ready today. Sign up, go do all the things. But also, we have a laundry list that we're listing in the Discord. We're going to be sending out as email distribution of things that we're working on. We're going to be improving, changing. Like it's not going to be static. We called it the Sims Legacy Hub for a reason. It's not just for the Legacy family. It's going to be a hub in a few different ways.
Yes.
Oh, and what other ways? I'm just I gotta ask. You can't,
So
you can't
right
just leave
now,
it there.
I mean, we'll see. No, right now, upon release, you've got not only the way to make not just like one, but multiple family trees. You've got the ability to share that with your community so people can see them, can view them either in like the tree form or just like a list format. If you just want to list out your Sims, like Alexis Rose from the Rose Chronicles, here's everything about her and every relationship she's had, and then read stuff like that. The other thing that we incorporated, at least for Go Live, is I don't know any way to say this other than a link tree, because
page.
that's like a profile page or that sort of thing, where everyone not only can share their own trees, but you have your own account as well. That anyone in the public can see. You can add any of your socials like Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, whatever it may be, as well as some of your own links. Like if there's a, let's just say, Stassi J podcast link tree that you want to have added to your Sims profile, you can add that, and then you can share, like I am at Sims Legacy Hub / the Awful Gaymer. You can see all of my links, all of my family trees, everything that I want you to see, very much so as like a hub for Sims creators.
I like that. That's really cool. I'm very excited to even get more into it. If I can give you guys my live feedback, because I was able to, I put in, as some of you guys know, I am the author of Rose Chronicles. I have 87 characters that I write about with a lot of different family. It was the first time in the 10-year history I actually made a very rough draft of a family tree, and I was actually able to see it live. I am not a web savvy person, and it was so easy to be able to go in, I didn't even start with Alexa. I started with like her great grandparents and worked my way down through the lineage. And it was so easy to do that as well. I was able to put photos in. I know that was something in Plum Bob Tree you could do as well. I just had seen it, but it was really cool that I was able to put descriptions, their occults, the pronouns, and just really kind of seeing the tree get put together and just seeing how like fucked up these families are. It was so cool. And again, 10 years of writing this story. And I was like, oh my God, I never gave this person a husband. I just completely over the man. But I was like, oh, so who's her husband? Who are they? Who are their cousins? Who are their brothers? How to like, and it was what I liked the best about it, and it's gonna sound it's gonna look gross. You could mark them deceased or not, which was really fun as a storyteller. If you were to see the Plum Bob Tree, which I will release for Rose Chronicles, you will see who was alive, who was dead, and I specifically like who murdered who. Why is this person leaving? Because it was fun. It was be like, oh shit, okay. And I also liked how if it was deceased, they were grayed out, and if they were alive, they had a different color circle, so it was really easy to track. I'm really excited, and it got me for the first time in months actually excited to go back and write. So because I was like, I'm now able to see this amazing family tree. Now let's go in and create even more chaos of why did this person betray this person? So thank you guys for making me a beta tester. I'm so excited to continue to use this hub forever. So
well, one thing that was really important to me, and again, honestly, no shade to Plumtree because they gave a tool to simmers to use that they needed. But for me, when Alex started talking about it, I hopped in and it was not intuitive. Like I could not figure out how to even start my tree.
mm-hmm.
When I got an account and I logged in and I was like, and now what? This makes no sense to me. And I'm pretty tech savvy. So to have that go, have to have an extensive how-to just to get started was a little like, I don't want that. If we're going to do this, I want it to be easy to use. I want it to be fun to use. I want it to be intuitive to use. And so I don't feel like there's a huge hang up with tech with this one because you go in and it automatically is like, boom, start your first sim.
Yeah. I would equivalent to it as plug and play. Is how I would literally log in and you're good to go. I didn't need a how-to. I didn't need someone to explain it to me. I didn't need to find a YouTube video that hadn't existed yet to see how to do it. I didn't have to bug you guys. I was just like, and I made a family tree in like 30 minutes. Like someone who has like no free time, I very much enjoyed that it was just easy to go in. It's get what I needed in and done, and it's saved. And I went back after. I was like, oh my God, everything is still here. And again, plug and play, not needing an explanation of how to do everything. It was just so simple. And that's kind of what we need, because legacy players, say you're doing the 100 baby challenge, you have fucking 100 people you got to put in there. That's got to be annoying as hell. So it's just so nice that it's so easy to do.
And that was one of the things that we definitely tried to incorporate, was like, how structured do we make it versus how freeform? Because you could be someone who's like, I need it to be exactly linear and like perfect, and you can do that. I mean, you just drag the sims to where you want them, make the tree or the web however you want. Or you could embrace the full Awful Gaymer side and go full chaos mode and make a spider web that is just an art piece of a family tree, because everyone's related or dated someone of the same, that it's just like absolute chaos. It's up to whatever you as the creator want to show your community or anyone that's interested. Is you get to pick, is it nice and clean, or is it what my brain looks like if we were to put that into a family tree?
I like that. Where, like, I know this is out now. What are your hopes and dreams for a year from now? December 1st, 2024. Where do you see the Legacy Hub app a year from today?
I mean, at this point, I don't even know what I'm doing tonight. So
I literally saw your face light up when I asked that question.
I think ultimately I would love to have, more people discovering it, more people using it. The program, we intend for it to be a living and breathing thing, right? It's not just like, oh, it's launched, here's what you get. No, we have plans and ideas to improve and make it better. I really hope honestly that this get, like my husband has programmed this entire thing. He literally has coded it line by line by hand. He hasn't taken the code from anywhere. He hasn't borrowed any like he has written the entire code by hand himself.
Wow.
And I would really love to see people take notice of this amazing thing and be like, hey, we'd like to hire you to make an app for us, not necessarily a Sims related app, but just apps. And I would really just like to see one of those, it'd be one of those things like people talk about like they did Plumtree. Where I was, oh yeah, go to my Legacy Hub.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I've got it on Legacy Hub. That's what I love personally. That's me.
Okay. Alex, how about you?
I think for me, it's hard to think about where it's going to be a year from today, mainly because it's already surpassed all of my expectations. Like, I think,
Already.
like, as previous gamer before, because we're recording this before December 1st, I think when we first met, I was like, I would be so stoked if 20 people used it or liked it. And we have more than that on the like wait list, not even like access yet, just like excited about it. I think truly my like putting myself a year from now, where do I want this to be? I want this to be something that's continuously evolving. That's the word, evolving, that people either love or have taken the time to give us feedback on, so that way we can make it something that they love. That this truly does fill the void that Plumtree app leaving, because as Pacific said at the beginning, like without that existing, I don't think that this would have ever been an idea that we had, let alone it going away.
Mhm.
That I hope that this fills the need for us game players and maybe others in the future, and that it like sticks around. But other than that, I really don't know what to expect, because I think every time that we've had a phone call, like even that Monday, as Pacific said, I pitched the idea on Thursday. We talked to Dev Pacific. Monday, Dev Pacific was like, here's my prototype. I'm pretty sure the only 3 words that I said just on repeat that whole time was, I love it. I love it. Like, that's just been where I've
Yeah.
been from the get-go, is like, I need someone else to look at this because I am completely biased. This is everything that I could have wanted and more. So give feedback, please.
Yeah. That's 100% true. And I don't know, like I said, it'd be really great if it's just one of those things like in the sim community.
Mhm.
People are like, oh yeah, it's this. Oh yeah, just go to my hub. Oh yeah, just go to Legacy Hub and make your tree there. And not everybody needs to keep track of their legacies. Some people, they either play personally because it's their own thing. Some people are more builders like me, but having a place to send people, especially if you're a content creator, and there's a lot of us out there, having a place where you can just send people to one link and it has all the trees, all the stories, other places they can find you. Ultimately, that's what we want. I know some of the features. We have dream features that we hope to have someday. We have features that are actively being worked on that haven't, weren't available for launch. But I think even like honestly, I feel like even if we didn't change a thing after today, it's still an incredibly useful tool.
Amazing. Where can we find this? Where can we log in? How do we start? How do we get in here?
Hey,
SimsLegacyHub.com.
just go to simslegacyhub.com, and up at the top of the screen, you can get started for free for 7 days. You don't even have to put in a credit card. Okay, you'll get saving your tree to the cloud. You can log in from any computer anywhere and access your tree for a full 7 days. And then after that, you can continue to save to the cloud for a very nominal fee. The only reason we're charging is because it costs us money. And that was one of the biggest things about Plumtree, was that, it was costing them too much and they couldn't continue. And we didn't want to see that happen, because obviously this tool is incredibly valuable. So, or you can then just use the free version, which saves to your cache in your browser. So there
Okay.
will be a free version. It's not
Mhm.
you never have to pay if you're not able, if you don't want to. But you get to try out the cloud saving for a week and then make a decision from there. So
And how much is the fee if you wanted to go like the premium route?
we have 2 tiers.
Okay.
We have a tier that's $2.99 a month, and you get 3 trees, and then the ability to share them because they're saved to the cloud. Or for $3.99, you can have 5 trees.
Okay. That's extremely reasonable. That's a like a regular Starbucks coffee.
It's cheaper than a Twitch sub, is what we've been saying.
Yeah. And we've been stressing of like there's always that free version. So even
Mhm.
with like there's that ability to create the tree, to download it as a PNG, to share it however you want, like that exists for the free version. So does all of the like social media sharing. So even if you're not necessarily a game player, but you want the ability to have all of your links and somewhere that's sim specific, that's all part of the free version. Like the
Yeah.
only thing that is part of the paid version is having the ability to save the tree to the cloud, share it where you have like a link that someone can go in and not edit it.
Mhm.
And the only reason, as Pacific said, that we did that was just because we don't want our costs to make it so that we have to shut down someday.
I got you. I do have a question about cybersecurity, as that's very important in 2023. What lengths are you doing to make sure that like it's safe for everybody?
That is a Dev Pacific question, and he's obviously not here. However, he has a lot of certifications in security, and security is incredibly important to him.
Mhm.
So I know he's one of the things we plan to launch as soon as possible would be like 2-factor authentication.
Okay.
So that people can't just randomly log in, but also like just we have the ability on the back end to go in and ban users, and it's through your email address. So you can't use that same email address to make another account if we have banned you. And it's we have some pretty good security measures in place already, but we do intend to beef it up as it goes on, just because we're not really sure. It's hard to determine how people are going to try and how people are going to try and use it. But at the same time, it's also such a niche thing. And for the most part, simmers are so nice that I'm not too worried about it. Like we can be catty, sure. But it's like, we're so kind of involved in our own gameplay that, it's like, why? And maybe this is just me being naive, but like, who would want to log in and mess with your tree?
That's fair.
Like,
Sorry, as I say, Neopets got hacked a year ago. So I'm just saying.
Well, and we're not the credit card information is not stored with us. It's through the processor.
Okay.
So we don't have like credit card information saved on our site. The most they would get is like your username and your email address.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe your password to the site, and that's it. That's the data that's stored.
Yeah, the only personal information that we ask for is an email address, which you can create a fake one if that's something that worries you, on top of all of the other security measures that Dev Pacific is putting in, and then the password for said site. That is the only thing that we require.
Amazing.
So we don't have any information that people are going to get anything out of, I guess.
I gotcha. Hey, it's always better to be safe than sorry. And
100%.
wanting to, especially in this day and age, again, if Neopets gets hacked in at the point, like
especially these days when it's not what it once was. And I can say that as somebody who still has an active account on Neopets.
I want to go in and do the advent calendar, because it's like my life. Like that's something I loved growing up.
It starts today. Oh, thanks for the reminder.
I know.
I'm gonna set a reminder on my phone.
100%. I want a Christmas paintbrush. I will settle with nothing less.
I have a fairy paintbrush sitting in my that I haven't used.
So
and they go for so much right now, like so many Neo points.
I won one on the fairy wheel and I used it.
I got one from the fairy event when Fairyland fell from the clouds.
Okay.
I've had an account for a stupid long time. I don't want to tell you how long, but it exists. So
I love it. Message
I'm
me
speaking
after.
in Club Penguin.
No, Team Neopets. Team Neopets, my friend.
I knew I liked you, Stassi.
I like you.
Listen, Club Penguin and Webkins. That was my ish.
Oh my God. How old are you?
Hey.
I know the answer to that.
I get to represent the 20s on this phone call. Not for long, but for now.
I love it.
I'm not representing my 30s much longer. So if that doesn't make you feel a little bit sorry.
I'm just baby 30. I've been 30 for 2 months. 3 months.
Yeah. So. I'm my days are limited in my 30s as we record this.
I gotcha. Well, the Awful Gaymer, Pacific Creative, thank you so much for coming here today and sharing this exciting project. Legacy Hub is out now. The links are going to be below. Please go check out this Legacy Hub. It is absolutely phenomenal. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Awful Gaymer and Pacific Creative. They will be able to help you. Do you guys have any final things that this is your 30-second elevator pitch? Sell me. Alex, you go.
Do the thing. But also feel free to reach out to us on any of our socials. We've got the Sims Legacy Hub on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and now that we're officially launched, Discord as well. That will be open for everyone. So come play around, make your free trees if you're so inclined, and want to have more. You are more than welcome to, but never pressured. And let us know your feedback, whether or not there's something that you think that could be improved, whether or not you love it, whether or not you hate it, anything like that. We're always open to hearing feedback because it's living, breathing, and always changing.
Amazing. I'm so excited to see how this goes and then all the amazing feedback you guys are going to hear in the next couple days. But like I said, please go check out the Legacy Hub. The links are going to be below. Thank you, the Awful Gaymer and Pacific Creative, for coming here today. Not only coming up with this amazing idea, but sharing it with the community. So the community, we thank you.
I love the Sim community. Honestly and truly, the Sims community is one of my favorite things I've ever found on the internet. So getting to contribute something like this makes me so happy. My heart is so warm and fuzzy, perfect for the holidays. And I'm excited to have a tool that is made by Simmers for Simmers that they can use.
I love that. Well, thank you both for coming here today. Let's plug your personal socials. Alex, where can we find you?
You can find me at the Awful Gaymer, pretty much anywhere, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, YouTube, Gmail. The only place that you can't find me at the Awful Gaymer is on the EA gallery, but you can find that in my Sims Legacy Hub profile, what that is, because you can't say gay at EA.
We're gonna change that one day. I don't know how. We are. We'll get to EA Creator Network at some point.
I'll let you do that. I was saying recently, even if I'm not ever in the EA Creator Network, I want to be in the beta tester, like quality assurance, QA tester, whatever it is network, because the way that my Sims decides to break the game without mods, I just need it documented somehow.
True. You are literally the epitome of chaos, and in some ways it's contagious. Awful curse.
Don't download my Sims. Don't download my Sims off the gallery.
Right. Well, it transcended into Bake Off, but we don't need to go about that.
Wrong podcast.
Oh, jeez.
Pacific Creative, where can we find you?
So, you can find me on the Sims Legacy Hub. You mostly will find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pacific Creative, all one word. And all my links are there too, because mostly it's Pacific Creative, but there's a couple places it's Pacific.Creates. And I'd rather not, it's easier to just not get too specific and just say, go to my Sims Legacy Hub page or go to my Twitch and everything's there. So
Amazing. Well, thank you both for coming here today. Please go check out the Awful Gaymer, Pacific Creative, and Legacy Hub. And if you like this podcast, please consider liking and subscribing. Please stay tuned, everyone, as it's December 1st. I can finally announce special project is we're doing an advent calendar on the Instagram page of 32 written interviews for the next 32 days. So please, 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 please go enjoy those interviews every single day. It has been a pleasure working on this project for the last couple months, and I hope I got some good written interviews for you. If you like this podcast, please consider signing up for my Patreon page. I love this podcast. And if you guys love what I do, please consider supporting me that way. Please go check out Rose Chronicles. There will be chapters at some point. Don't know when. Go check out my Instagram page, my main one. We just hit 10K today. So that's a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
I think that's everything. Oh, if you want to be on season 3 as a written interview or a podcast interview, please reach out to me, as well as we are currently booking spots for season 3. Hi, you are on my list. But yeah, if you're interested, please let me know. But more importantly, please go check out Legacy Hub below. The links are going to be there, and let's go have some fun creating some family trees.
And don't forget your Neopets advent calendar.
In your Neopets advent calendar. That is not sponsored on this podcast. That is just pure childhood memories of amazingness. Well, everyone, have a great rest of your night. Bye.
Bye.